trying something new, and I just realized like I don't actually know when I go live on Twitter and YouTube. So if you're watching this live on Twitter and YouTube, hopefully it's in portrait mode because that's what I'm trying now, and that's why I just realized oh, there it is. I see it now. Okay. Okay, welcome. If you're new to this, this is I'm Otis 5D, and I make videos on the internet. And I am totally tongue-tied because I never do this, but I feel like I should. I was thinking about my own, you know, content production, and I was thinking like, would I be into this guy? And I feel like, this whole thing, I call this one blah 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 blah. This is news from 5D. I don't know. I wish like, we got in, we had a little foreplay first. And when I used to make content, I did foreplay. And then I stopped because I thought like this is the new era and people don't give a shit. But I realized that I'm always going to have a kind of like cult audience or something, and people are just gonna click off if they're not into it. They're gonna be like, dude, who is this fucking loser? Get away from me. And like that will be that. So anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube and Twitter, welcome. You can follow me on Rumble to see like the entire live stream that I do. I make art, news, thoughts, and health in 5D. That's right. That's like my shtick, is like this 5D thing. And I think my preferred business model is going to be some kind of community thing. So go like this Otis 12D thing. So go to my website, if you're ever interested. I think I should keep hammering that home so people are like, oh, like that's what that guy does. So anyway, tonight's Thoughts from 5D is called There Is Such a Thing as Objective Good Taste. Something like that. The title is something like that. This is Thoughts from 5D. I'm Otis 5D. And if you happen to watch this, will you let me know if this like rambly thing that I did in the beginning is like endearing, or it's like, bro, please don't do that again. Like that is a failed experiment. Just be like, bro, tonight's Thoughts from 5D is blah. I'm Otis 5D, blah, and just fucking start. Like I'm not like, what are you doing? Like why are you regressing? You're supposed to, I didn't start recording again. Wow, there's so many moving pieces in this setup that I have that it's discombobulating. So anyway, there is such a thing as objective good taste. So today I have been in this rabbit hole of the rapper producer Necro. How the fuck did that even start? Was it like Nems who came up on my YouTube? Was it a No Jumper clip? Bro, I don't even remember. But I just started listening to some clip of an interview with Necro, who is like he's still a real producer, hip hop, underground hip hop, boom bap kind of guy. But he was, his peak was not his peak in terms of monetary success, because he says that's now, but like in terms of fame and notoriety, was in the late 90s, early 2000, like underground backpack hip hop scene, Raucous and all that stuff. Fat Beats, that's what he calls it, the Fat Beats era. Anyway, so I'm listening to this guy, and he does I listen to all kinds of content, all kinds of stuff with him today, like hours and hours and hours, and I fuck with this dude so heavily. I cannot stand his content, like meaning his lyrics. Like he makes something he calls death rap, and it's all this like, I will impale you and fuck you in the ass, and it's like, I don't know, like it's not for me. But the dude, he's a fucking real one. He's got to be one of my biggest inspirations now. He's so fucking real, and he has such good taste. And he was just talking about all kinds of stuff about like, this is why hip hop sucks now. This is why this is why that. And then kind of like the culmination of this rabbit hole was that I watched him do a review of the Snoop Dogg Dr. Dre album that just came out. And he basically was like, dude, it's not good. And then he said like, this track, the beat is good, but then it comes all poppy, and so I haven't listened to this shit. And so I'm like pulling up the songs that he's talking about while I'm listening to the review, and I pause the review and whatever. And he's like completely right. I I agree with him exactly. And then he says, you know, this thing isn't as good as what Hit Boy did with The Game. And then he talks about this track, the first track of Hit Boy and The Game off their album Paisley Dreams, and I haven't listened to that either. So I pull up the first track and I'm like, yeah, bro, this is hard. That's fucking dope. And I realized like, oh, there's like a fucking psyop that like times change, and you know the new thing like with drill rap and all this shit, and it's like no, it fucking sucks. It's like the fucking COVID vaccine. They just psyoped everyone into believing this is good, and people are such fucking retarded, moronic sheep that they just go along with it. And you know, when you are someone kind of like somewhat amenable to things like me, like trying to be like maybe I'm the bad guy, like, you know, if I have a fight with someone, I'm always thinking like, am I the bad guy? Like, what am I not seeing about what I did wrong, right? I'm not the personality. It's like, fuck that person. It's all their fucking fault. Like that's not. But Necro's a little bit more like that, a little bit. I don't want to fucking strawman this guy. He's a good guy. He's like a really fucking good guy, but he's more assertive. He's more confident in his opinions. And so I'm listening to this and I realize like, oh, dude, there's like just good opinions. And I know that when I used to make reaction video content to hip hop stuff back then, my audience, my fans would tell me that one of the things they loved about my content was that when I would react to something, you know, give it the stink face or give it like, dude, that's fucking trash, I don't fucking know, they'd be like, that's exactly, like I felt the exact thing you were feeling when you felt it. And I'm like, this guy gets it. And, you know, I just took that in. I didn't think much about it at the time. But what it's making me realize now is that there actually is just good taste. There is like an objective good taste, and it's like everybody likes good things when they're not propagandized to like those things. So as an example, I don't know, the Beatles, Nirvana, Quentin Tarantino, like there are just certain things that everyone knows are good, and there's no amount of propaganda or psyoping required. A lot of, you know how you know that's true? Because things become like cult classics or something. You know, things that just didn't get adequate promotion, but then over time developed this cult following. I think this guy Necro is a little bit like that. And because so many people who have good taste can see that, oh, that's good. Like that should have been big. Why wasn't that big? And sometimes things that deserve to be big don't get big. And sometimes things that don't deserve to be big do get big. And like, you know, that's life and everything. But this postmodern idea that like, you know, everything is relative and it all depends on the cultural context. Dude, fuck that shit. I finally get it. There is like good shit. I also, you know, the way that this rabbit hole started today is I saw this documentary on this dude named Busy P, who started Ed Banger Records, and he turned out to have been the manager for Daft Punk before he started this record label, and he was like pivotal in this very famous concert, one of the most famous concerts in the history of music, of Daft Punk playing Coachella at 2006, where they unveiled this like pyramid thing. It's most known, I think, for like inspiring Skrillex, who goes on to become this like super famous EDM guy. But anyway, it was like this very revolutionary show with respect to production value, as well as just like the sonics of the music that they were making. And what was my point? That like everyone agreed that this Daft Punk show, it just like blew their minds. Like things do blow people's minds. Jimi Hendrix's guitar did blow people's minds. Jay-Z's rapping did blow people's minds. Nas on Live at the Barbecue, main source before he got signed and did Illmatic, like people can just see things that are fucking sick, and like everybody knows it. And I do think that the COVID analogy I made at the beginning of this video is actually a really excellent analogy, because there is this like massive propaganda psyop campaign to like not trust your lying eyes. Like, I remember here, I'm just going to make a bunch of random analogies. I remember so clearly when in the 2008 election, when it was Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and Ron Paul, at least those are the three people I was paying attention to. Ron Paul had so much substance about like the debt and the gold standard and the, you know, what the fuck happened in 1971 and all this stuff. And you'd like listen to him and you'd feel like you're getting smarter. But like Obama was getting pushed so hard, and it's like, yeah, this is great. You know, it's like hope and change and like, you know, black guy. And it's like America's, you know, original sin of slavery. And like, we're going to overcome that with this eloquent guy who was the editor of the Harvard Law Review. And like, there was this like sinking feeling that when you listen to this guy, there's like no substance. There's no there. And they're like, no, there's a there. Listen to how eloquent, listen to the voice, listen to the orational abilities, and that I clearly don't have. And, you know, don't look behind the curtain. Don't look for actual substance. And so much of that's now completely pervaded our culture. And you can see it, like, you know, the quality of movies plummeting, quality of video games. I don't play video games, but that's what everybody says. Plummeting, just everything plummeting. But there are these sparks. And like, I feel like here's the point. I fucking get it now. It's like what I'm doing may take a long time to grow into something that anyone recognizes as like, oh yeah, that like Otis guy, he's like doing something. But if I just focus on being fucking good, people will know it. The people who know will know. And it's not that subjective. It's just not. And the thing is you can't, everything with the wokes, you can't fucking argue with them. And they'll be like, well, that's a very Caucasian perspective. You know, that's a very patriarchal perspective. You know, in the 18th century, the colonial, and it's like, all you can do is eat a dick, you fucking loser, right? Because getting caught up in their word games, that's the trap. Just listening to them is going into their frame, right? Maybe there's a more polite way than I know of saying, eat a dick, you fucking agfe. But if it exists, I'm not aware of it. You just have to get these people the fuck out of your life. And once you do that, you just realize like, oh, I have a sense of what's good. And I can strive to be good, because striving to be good is real. I've made a video about this a while ago about Matthew Peterson, Doc MJP, about stand on solid ground. They're trying to move the map all around you of like, well, you know, seed oils technically aren't that unhealthy, and don't trust your own taste. And my response is fuck that shit. Trust your own taste. And to come full circle, Necro just went on, and he was like, I just got to say it, bro, Dre fell off. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been feeling when I fucking listened to that fucking Compton movie, whatever, Straight Outta Compton soundtrack. I was like, I'm not playing this again. And that's what he said. He said, like, whatever this Missionary album is, he's like, yeah, I listened to it once. I'm not going to listen to it again. And not because I hate it. It's like, obviously, Dre's like the biggest legend of all time. And like, nothing he does now takes away from that. But it's like, you can't pretend that it's still good. It's not good. And he said the same thing about RZA, and I was like, yeah, exactly. Am I allowed to say that? And he kind of said the same thing about Pete Rock, and I was like, yeah, I kind of think that one too. And there was somebody else. It's not coming to my mind right now, about like somebody that fell off, and I was like, Wow. And then he was like DJ Premier, still God. I was like, exactly. The fucking shit that Premier did with ASAP Ferg, and then the one he did that sampled Fatback Band. I can't even remember, with Rhapsody. I was just like, dude, this shit's hard as fuck. And seeing this other guy see exactly the same things that I see, and you could say, well, yeah, you guys are just no. There is such a thing. Like, dope is dope. There's a reason that Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap and Rakim and Nas and Jay-Z and Big Pun and all these people are Kanye are like, if you know, you know. People who have good taste know that all of those people are fucking dope. Fuji's The Score, Warren G, Regulate album, fucking Snoop Dogg Doggy Style, Dre The Chronic, Wu-Tang Enter the Wu. You know, it goes on and on. Most Def Black on both sides. You can go forever on this game, but Tribe, Low End Theory, Midnight Marauders, like, it exists, and there's something so comforting to me about that. It's like, oh, there is a North Star. Like, it's not just, there's your North Star and your North Star, and there's the African North Star and the Latinx North Star and the Asian American, and then the South Asian and the East Asian and the Central Asian. It's like, bitch, eat a fucking dick. Go back to the hell realm you came from. There is objective good taste. Reality is real. And, like, stand on business. Just fucking stand on business. Go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz